Kitzu art.
Hello Fluffy viewers, I am Kitzu and today I chose to voice over my speed up video of creating Mio from Xenoblade Chronicles 3. As you can see, I started with the character's hair. The hair is the toughest part of the B-word model, so I do my best to get the hair as close as possible to the characters. I could have began with clothes since they are somewhat the easy part, but I pretty much wanted the difficult part out of the way. Making the character's hair is tough. You just really have to edit every single string of hair, especially if it's a complicated hairstyle. If you didn't know, I have like 4 groups of hairs on my model. It's crazy that I began with a funny hairstyle, but here for Mio, it's just about 3 groups of hair. I'm glad they even made a menu for the hair, like side, back, front, and extra. It really makes things a bit more easier with organizing the type of hairstyle. Normally I don't color the eyes that much, but this is the second time I actually do some texture edits on the eyeliner. And funny thing is, there's also eyelashes, which I never really use, since not many anime characters have complicated eyelashes. The iris is also something I don't texture a lot, since most characters' irises look the same, unless you take into account if the character is not fully human. That could really change the iris to look really different. Good examples are basically like cyber characters, or like cyborgs, or even demons. The only thing I change is mostly the highlights, but I should really practice on eye texturing every now and then, in case I do end up making complicated eyes. I believe when I began streaming this model, I sort of just focused on creating her, and didn't really talk much. The sketch phase went by pretty quick, and normally the shoes would have caused a little trouble. I have made some character models in B-Roy before, and I gotta say, most had complicated shoes. I guess anime girls from video games have funny looking shoes with a lot of detail? Like I said, clothes can be pretty simple, unless if you saw when I created Lucina from Fire Emblem Awakening. Her clothes had a bit of armor and belts. I had to make a bodysuit for all that stuff. Luckily, Mio doesn't really have much, so coloring her clothes would be the easy part. No extra clothes to add or anything like that. That is until I noticed the skirt lines would be a bit of a pain because they will need to be aligned. So there's a lot of importing and moving the illustration layer. It's only easy if the clothes are the same on both sides. Basically like, mirroring. Both sides just look the same. When I use Clip Studio Paint, it really helps to copy and paste. I just work on illustrating and coloring one side, and then copy and flip it to the other side. Really makes things easy to do. And yeah, you could see a bit that I struggled with the skirt. So I cut that part off the video because I don't think it's good for the eyes to just see windows popping in and out every single millisecond. So that's basically how I just go about that kind of struggle on aligning things. Of course, when creating models, you shouldn't forget to color in some shadows. I thought the environment would do the work for me when I first started, but sadly, I don't think that's how it works. I do play some Hoyoverse games like Genshin Impact, and looking closely at the characters, I can see they actually have shadows and light colored into them. So I try to think of that when coloring my models, especially the hair, which can be really complicated to get it right. I did a lot of erasing and trying out different light patterns on the hair. And the shadow part, I don't know, maybe the shadow part is easy, but adding the light on the hair, I think that's the complicated part. I don't know why I struggle on that part. This is also the first time I tried braids. I'm sure that's what it's called. I tried doing the twist on the hair string, but it just didn't feel right. I might have not done good on that part, but I tried to improvise by just moving them side to side and then connecting them together, adding the hair bones for movement. Once the bones are added, I go to the camera to see the movements of the hair, and then go back to edit the bones again if the movement is pretty crazy. Then it makes the character look like they're balding. It's just a lot of repeating and editing just to get it right, as well as for texturing and all other things involved with like movement. This is also the first time I tried something called cell shading. It's mostly just basic coloring your model and adding the toon shade effect to make it appear more 2D-like. Since 2D VTubers are more popular than 3D VTubers, it's pretty fun to do, honestly. Mio did started to look more 2D when I added in some shadow on her hair after adding the toon shader. But then the tough part was, where would the shadows be on her body? I'm honestly not sure if I did well on that part, since I only know the shadow would be on her neck, a bit on her cleavage as well. I don't think she has any. There should be some shadow on her chin, and possibly maybe on her neck collarbone. I believe I did not do a good job at it, but so far so good, I guess. If you didn't notice, her cat ears are flipped back. If you're questioning why, well, I'm not so sure myself why. When I first saw Nia in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I questioned why her ears were flipped back and not forward. And this applies to Mio as well, since she is likely a descendant of Nia. Well, as I played the series, it just grew on me and I pretty much like the flipped ears. I did her jacket off stream, so that became a bit tough to get some of the detail lines and shadows. And then I ended up making Mio's weapon, which is a chakram. It's usually a sword shaped like a circle. And gotta say that getting this thing to glow was pretty difficult. It was the first time I played with getting a model to cause some emissions in Blender. Even her core crystal was a struggle, since it would work in a VTuber software, but then it wouldn't on another one. And I also used Blender for this, only Blender. I did not use Unity, so that was pretty good to figure it out on my own on how to make emissions by using just Blender. Well, that is Mio, everybody. I like to end these kinds of videos by showing the model moving and showing some expressions inside the software called Warudo, and using XR Animator to use body tracking. If you didn't know, you can download Mio in my Ko-fi page for free. The link will be in the description below. Feel free to leave a tip for it if you wish to do so. And every time I get 100 subscribers in YouTube, I make a B-word model for you guys for free. Feel free to tell me in the comments what kind of character you'd like to see me create for when we reach 700 subscribers. I also do commissions, and the link is also in the description below if you are interested. Well, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can help me stand out in the algorithm by giving it a like and subscribe. Share with others, and I'll see you all in my next video. Take care of yourselves, Fluffy Fluffs. See you later.